The United States of America is still the greatest and most powerful nation in history, and we can win any competition with Communist China. The only question is whether we're going to do it the smart way or with our hand tied behind our backs. At every turn, the Biden administration has hamstrung American businesses and ceded ground to the Chinese communists. Most recently, the Department of Commerce, which has the statutory duty to foster and promote foreign domestic commerce, completely stopped the issuance of renewal of certain export licenses to American exporters of firearms, ammunition, and related materials. This pause was dumped on American businesses with zero warning and zero stakeholder engagement. This action by the Bureau, Mr. Estevez, is costing this industry over $100 million and is creating a mass uncertainty. You said the pause would last approximately 90 days. We're on day 146, a 50% increase in what you predicted. I appreciated Mr. Burchett bringing that up. In November, when this pause was first announced, I led 87 of my colleagues and sent you a letter demanding an explanation on this unprecedented action. All we received in response was an unsubstantial letter that grossly misrepresented reports from the Government Accounting Office, the GAO, and the ATF. First of all, the GAO report was addressed to the Department of State, the Department of Commerce, and its only recommendation was for state to increase firearms trafficking investigations. For the Department of Commerce to claim this as justification for freezing an entire industry is absolutely absurd. Secondly, the GAO report repeatedly emphasized that existing data is not sufficient to warrant permanent changes to export policies. That's a quote. And that trafficked firearms are overwhelmingly sourced through the black market. Even the ATF report openly admitted that less than 1% of the firearms lawfully exported from the U.S. were associated with an international gun crime. Stopping the lawful exportation of firearms does absolutely nothing to prevent international gun crimes, but it will destroy an American industry, and people will lose their jobs. Rather than facilitate commerce and help our businesses compete against China, BIS is targeting American gun exporters for crimes they did not commit, while the real perpetrators of violence go unpunished. The industry is already highly regulated. Any action to limit U.S. participation will only allow countries like China to step into the void. China is among the largest exporters of these types of firearms, and it's well known that the CCP's strategy to combat the United States is to destabilize Western Hemisphere by trafficking its fentanyl precursors, so there's no reason to think that they won't do the same with firearms. To right this wrong, of course, I introduced the Protect American Gun Exporters Act. The bill would force the Department of Commerce to stop this insane policy. It's imperative that we end this so-called pause and allow American exporters to compete. If the Bureau of Industry and Security doesn't change course, international gun crimes will only increase, and China will step into the vacuum. And I can assure you the CCP doesn't care who it's selling to, or worse, other nefarious people.